How much of your life have you given away, not to fate, not to circumstance, but to the opinions of others? You hesitate. You hold back. You silence yourself. All because of an invisible force, their judgment. It shapes your choices, controls your actions, and keeps you locked in a prison you never agreed to. But here's the truth. That prison, it's not real. It exists only in your mind. The ancient Stoics understood this better than anyone. They knew that the moment you stop caring what others think, you become untouchable, free, powerful, no longer bending to opinions that were never yours to begin with. And when you break free, everything changes. Today, we're diving into 12 life-altering shifts that happen when you finally let go of approval-seeking and reclaim your own path. If you're ready to stop living for others and start living for yourself, then listen carefully, because the second you stop seeking validation is the second you truly start living. 1. You become more confident. Most people live with a constant fear of judgment. They hesitate to speak, act, or express their true selves because they're afraid of how others will react. But when you stop caring what people think, something incredible happens. Your confidence grows. You no longer second-guess yourself. You trust your instincts, your decisions, and your abilities. Imagine walking into a room without worrying about whether people will like you. That's real confidence. Your self-worth comes from within, not from others. If you rely on external validation, you will always be weak. True strength comes from self-acceptance. 2. You make decisions without fear. How many times have you avoided making a decision because you were afraid of judgment? Maybe you wanted to change careers, express a different opinion, or take a big risk, but the fear of what others might say held you back. This fear kills progress. But the moment you stop caring about others' approval, you gain something priceless: freedom. You start making decisions based on what's right for you, not on what will please others. And this is where real success begins. The Stoics believed that we should act based on reason, not on fear. If a decision aligns with your values and long-term goals, then why should anyone else's opinion stop you? You act based on reason, not on approval. When you stop hesitating, you start winning. 3. You stop overthinking everything. When you care too much about what others think, your mind becomes a battlefield. What if they don't like me? What if I sound stupid? What if they judge me? This overthinking drains your energy and keeps you stuck in fear. But when you stop seeking approval, you gain something powerful: mental clarity. You no longer waste time worrying about what others might think. Instead, you focus on what actually matters. Focus on what matters, not on people's opinions. Overthinking is wasted energy. Redirect that energy toward action. 4. You stop seeking validation. Most people live their lives chasing approval. They want likes, compliments, and reassurance that they're doing the right thing. They adjust their behavior to get praise, even if it means being fake. But what happens when you stop seeking validation? You become unshakable. Your confidence doesn't depend on external praise. You don't need applause to feel worthy. Think about a Stoic like Marcus Aurelius. He didn't rule based on what was popular. He ruled based on what was right. This is real power. When you stop needing approval, you become truly free. You become unshakable when validation doesn't control you. Seeking approval makes you weak. Standing by your principles makes you strong. 5. You feel lighter and less stressed. The pressure to impress others creates anxiety. Think about it. How much mental weight do you carry every day just trying to meet others' expectations? Worrying about how you look. Worrying about saying the right thing. Worrying about whether people like you. It's exhausting. But the moment you let go of what people think, you feel lighter. Life becomes simpler and more peaceful. You stop overanalyzing every move. You breathe easier because you're finally living for yourself. The Stoics taught that peace comes from within. The more you detach from external approval, the more freedom you gain. Emotional freedom comes from detachment. Let go of external expectations, and you'll find inner peace. 6. You become unshaken by criticism. Most people fear criticism. They take negative comments personally. They let one harsh opinion ruin their entire mood. But here's the truth. Criticism is just information. Some criticism is useful, it helps you improve. Some criticism is pointless, it's just noise. Either way, you don't have to take it personally. A Stoic sees feedback the way a scientist sees data, objectively. Instead of getting emotional, they analyze. Is this feedback true? If yes, use it to improve. Is this feedback false? If yes, ignore it. When you detach from both praise and criticism, you gain real power. You are no longer shaken by opinions, because at the end of the day, what others say about you is none of your business. Detach from both praise and criticism. Stay steady, no matter what people say. 7. You take more risks. Fear of judgment stops most people from pursuing their dreams. They hesitate. They second-guess themselves. They wonder, what if I fail? What will people say? What if they laugh at me? But when you stop caring what others think, everything changes. You step outside your comfort zone. You take bold risks without worrying about judgment. And here's the key: all success requires risk. Every great leader had doubters. Every successful entrepreneur was criticized. Every innovator faced rejection. The difference? They kept going. They refused to let fear of judgment hold them back. And in the end, they succeeded. Courage grows when you stop fearing opinions. Success belongs to those who take action, not those who seek approval. 8. You surround yourself with the right people. When you don't chase approval, fake people disappear. Think about it. How many people stay in your life just because you try to please them? The ones who take advantage of your kindness. The ones who expect you to change for them. The ones who only show up when they need something. But when you stop caring about approval, you stop bending over backward for the wrong people. And something amazing happens. The right people stay. The people who respect you for who you are. The people who support you without conditions. The people who value you for your principles. You learn a powerful truth. It's better to have a few strong, loyal friends than 100 fake ones. Choose quality over quantity in relationships. Real respect comes from authenticity, not approval seeking. 9. You become more respected. Respect isn't given to those who chase approval. It's given to those who stand firm in their beliefs. Think about the people you respect the most. Are they constantly seeking validation? Do they change their opinions to please others? Of course not. You respect them because they are strong, confident, and unwavering. That's the power of self-respect. When you stop trying to please everyone, people start respecting you more. They see that you have standards. They notice that you don't bend to pressure. They understand that you stand for something real. And in the long run, that earns true respect. The moment you stop begging for approval, you start commanding respect. Stoic power. Respect is earned through strength, not people pleasing. 10. You control your own happiness. Most people let others decide how they feel. A compliment makes them happy. A rude comment ruins their day. A rejection makes them question their worth. But here's the truth. If other people's opinions control your emotions, they control you. Stoics understand that true peace comes from within. Not from approval, not from validation, not from what others think. When you stop caring about opinions, you take back your power. You realize that happiness is a choice, your choice. No one can take it from you unless you let them. No one can take your peace if it comes from within. 11. You live more authentically. Most people wear a mask. They act a certain way to be liked. They say what others want to hear. They hide their real selves out of fear. But what happens when you drop the mask? You become free. You live authentically. You stop pretending. You embrace who you truly are. And here's the best part: the right people will be drawn to you. Opportunities that align with your values will find you. The people who truly respect you will stay. You'll build a life that feels real, not fake. Authenticity is true power. It's what separates the weak from the strong. When you stop trying to fit in, you start standing out. Authenticity attracts the right opportunities and people. 12. You become mentally unbreakable. Imagine this: nothing people say or do can shake you. They criticize you, you don't flinch. They mock your choices, you stay on your path. They try to bring you down, you don't even notice. That's what happens when you stop caring about opinions. Most people live in fear of judgment. They hesitate to chase their dreams. They change themselves just to fit in. They waste energy trying to impress people who don't matter. But when you let go of that need for approval, something incredible happens. You become calm, focused, unshakable. This is the power of Stoic indifference. The Stoics understood that true strength doesn't come from control over others. It comes from control over yourself. When you stop letting people's opinions dictate your emotions, you become mentally unbreakable. You move through life with confidence. You make decisions without hesitation. You build a mindset that nothing can destroy. This is real freedom. True strength comes from indifference to external opinions. Caring too much about what others think is a mental prison. It stops you from taking action. It fills your mind with fear and self-doubt. It keeps you from becoming your true self. But the moment you let go of the need for approval, everything changes. You become stronger. You become wiser. You find inner peace. The Stoics knew that true power doesn't come from the outside, it comes from within. So the question is, will you keep living for others? Or will you take back control and live for yourself? Which lesson stood out to you the most? Drop a comment below. If this video helped you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Stay strong, stay wise, stay stoic.